Welcome to the Faroe Islands. What a magnificent secret the North Atlantic has been hiding. The Faroe Islands, scattered across remote waters, are home to just 50,000 people living on 18 emerald islands. These isolated lands were so remote that Google Street View had to use sheep with cameras strapped to their backs to map the terrain in 2013. Grass roof houses literally grow from the ground, creating a landscape so surreal it looks like a fairy tale. Despite their remoteness, the Faroes enjoy faster internet than most major cities and drive through underwater tunnels with roundabouts beneath the sea. The locals speak their own ancient language and welcome strangers into their homes for traditional meals. Waterfalls cascade directly into the ocean, while Nordic legends seem to whisper from every misty valley. This is where sustainable living meets stunning beauty, creating an experience that feels like stepping into another world. Risin and Kellingin are two sea stacks just off the northern coast of Suduroy, in the Faroe Islands close to the town of Eidi, standing at 71 meters and 68 meters tall respectively. The name Risin and Kellingin means the giant and the witch, with the giant being the taller stack further from the coast and the witch being the pointed stack nearer land. An ancient Faroese legend tells of giants in Iceland, green with envy, who sent one of their own to seize the Faroe Islands and haul them back to Iceland. They worked throughout the night, trying to pull the mountain Eidiskolur, becoming so absorbed in their task that they lost track of time. However, their nighttime attempts failed, and when the sun's first rays touched them at dawn, they were turned to stone where they still stand today. The sea stacks serve as silent guardians of ancient Nordic folklore, where myth and natural beauty converge in spectacular fashion. Now, before we move on to the next destination, here's a fun question for you. Which country occupied the Faroe Islands in World War II to stop Germany? Comment your guess. Standing at 457 meters above sea level, with a prominence of 31 meters, this rugged peak offers some of the most spectacular viewpoints in the Faroe Islands. Mylingur is a peaky mountain located on the northern tip of Strangest Island, positioned as a hard place to reach with a tricky trail to find. The mountain requires about a 2 to 3 hour hike from the village of Tjornuvik to reach the summit. The trail is very tough, with about half following official paths while the other half ventures off-trail through challenging terrain. From the summit, visitors encounter nothing but seabirds riding the coastal winds and occasional sheep, with few, if any, other travelers in sight. The vantage point features a dramatic 400-meter sheer drop from the cliff's edge, creating one of the most vertigo-inducing viewpoints in the archipelago. The nearby Drangarnir Cliff rises 623 meters high as a perpendicular wall, creating a truly breathtaking panoramic vista. Despite the challenging access, many consider Mylingur one of the best locations in the Faroe Islands. Hikers are strongly advised to bring water and good shoes due to the demanding nature of the terrain. The remote mountain peak represents the perfect destination for adventurous travelers seeking solitude and unparalleled Nordic wilderness views. If you are watching this, please click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. A place where ancient Viking parliaments once gathered, Torshavn stands as the world's smallest capital city, perched dramatically on the edge of the North Atlantic. This far-flung Nordic city is home to just over 20,000 inhabitants and serves as the capital of the Faroe Islands, housing almost half of the nation's population. The area is home to some of the oldest houses in the city, some dating to the 14th century, and others from the 17th and 18th centuries, which are still in use today. The Old Town is a small neighborhood of black-tarred wooden houses with white-framed windows and grass roofs, where people still call these centuries-old houses their home. Standing proudly nearby is the red and white Skansen lighthouse, guiding ships safely into the harbor for more than a century. This lighthouse together with the surrounding historic fort, adds a timeless charm to the city's maritime landscape. Narrow cobblestone streets wind between these historic buildings, creating an enchanting maze that feels frozen in medieval times. The harbor bustles with colorful fishing boats that bring in the daily catch, reflecting the island's deep maritime heritage. As you stroll through the narrow streets, you'll encounter the unique architecture that reflects the region's history and its connection to the sea. The smell of salt air mingles with the aroma of traditional Faroese cuisine, wafting from local restaurants. Grass-covered roofs seem to grow naturally from the landscape, blending the city seamlessly with the surrounding hills. Here, where weather changes by the minute and folklore feels tangibly alive, Torshavn represents the perfect harmony between ancient traditions and contemporary Nordic life. Widely known for its dramatic finger-like shape stretching across the North Atlantic, Kalsoy stands as one of the most striking islands in the Faroe archipelago. The long, finger-shaped island of Kalsoy stretches from north to south in the northernmost part of the Faroe Islands archipelago. The island, which translates to Man Island, creates a fascinating Nordic naming tradition. Kalsoy is home to 11 breathtaking valleys carved deep into its narrow terrain by centuries of Atlantic storms. The island has 13 peaks, dominating the rugged landscape. The Kalsoy Island tunnels are known for their narrow lanes, connecting the scattered settlements through the mountainous interior. Kalsoy Lighthouse, built in 1927, sits on the northernmost tip of the island and has become the island's most famous attraction. The northern and western coastline of the island has been identified as an important bird area by BirdLife International because of its significance as a breeding site for seabirds. Accessing the island requires taking a ferry, adding to its remote and adventurous appeal. The journey to Kalsoy Lighthouse involves a long hike up the mountain, but it is not too difficult. Villages dot the landscape, where traditional grass roof houses blend seamlessly with the dramatic terrain. The island offers some of the most otherworldly views in the Faroe Islands, with dramatic cliffs, sweeping ocean panoramas, and an otherworldly sense of isolation. Weather changes rapidly here, with thick fog often rolling in to shroud the peaks in mysterious clouds. Scenic allure lies in the dramatic contrasts between soft and harsh, light and dark, and smooth and rugged. If you're searching for the ultimate remote Nordic village experience, Tjornuvik represents the perfect destination tucked away in the Faroe Islands. Tjornuvik is the northernmost village on the island of Strangest, located at the bend of a bay in a wide, deep valley, surrounded on three sides by steep-sided mountains. This tiny settlement has a population of around 65 to 71 people, making it one of the most secluded communities in the archipelago. The village is nestled peacefully in a deep valley with no other villages in sight, containing no more than 55 houses. The settlement is bordered by a dazzling black sand beach and a horseshoe-shaped bay, creating a dramatic contrast with the surrounding landscape. Tjornuvik is among the oldest villages in the Faroe Islands, with various findings suggesting that people lived here during the Viking era. From the black sand beach, visitors can witness the legendary sea stacks Risin and Kellingin, representing the giant and the witch, according to Faroese folklore. The village used to be a natural harbor, but after a horrific storm in the 1600s, the fjord became blocked with sand. Small streams flow down the mountains throughout the village, creating an especially impressive sight on rainy days. There is a popular hiking route, offering adventurous travelers spectacular Nordic wilderness experiences. The village features two hiking trails, which offer the best views of the village from above. Tjornuvik is a road dead end, nestled between steep mountains where the sun only shines in the morning, as the valley is only open to the east. The village faces the open Atlantic Ocean, providing dramatic views of crashing waves against the black volcanic sand. The village itself exudes a peaceful, timeless charm, where time seems to slow down. Gasadalur is more than just a destination. It represents the ultimate Nordic village experience, where isolation meets breathtaking natural beauty. The picturesque village, with its 13 inhabitants, lies in the west part of Vagar and stands as one of the most remote settlements in the Faroe Islands. Until 2004, it was the only village on the Faroe Islands without a road, connecting it to the other villages, making it one of the most remote villages on the islands. There are only 25 houses in the village located just behind the famous Bosdalafossur Waterfall, creating an intimate community nestled between dramatic mountains. Gasadalur is home to the famous Bosdalafossur Waterfall, which drops directly into the North Atlantic Ocean. Surrounded by beautiful rocky mountains and dramatic Faroes views, it's one of the top tourist destinations in the Faroe Islands. Set against the thunderous backdrop of a spectacular waterfall, the village provides a window into a timeless Nordic way of life, where ancient customs steadfastly persist. What would you photograph first in Gasadalur? Comment 1 for the waterfall, 2 for the turf roof houses. Slave Cliff rises dramatically from the churning North Atlantic waters, like a colossal green sentinel guarding the Faroe Islands. This towering sea cliff reaches an astounding 2,300 feet into the sky, making it one of the tallest vertical drops on Earth. The sheer basalt walls plunge straight down into foaming white waters that crash relentlessly against the ancient rock face. Emerald grass clings impossibly to the cliff's upper edges, creating a vivid contrast against the dark volcanic stone below. On clear days, the summit offers breathtaking views across the endless ocean, where the horizon seems to curve with the Earth itself. Thick mist often rolls in from the sea, wrapping the cliff in ethereal clouds that make it appear to float between heaven and ocean. Thousands of seabirds nest in the cliff's rocky crevices, their cries echoing off the massive walls as they dive and soar through the salty air. The wind here is fierce and constant, carrying the raw power of the Atlantic and the wild scent of seaweed and salt. Waterfalls occasionally cascade down the cliff face during heavy rains, creating a temporary silver ribbons against the dark rock. The layered geology tells millions of years of volcanic history, each stratum revealing ancient eruptions frozen in time. Standing at the edge feels like balancing on the very rim of the world, with nothing but Ishur and ocean stretching endlessly below. The cliff's imposing presence has inspired countless legends among the Faroe's people throughout generations. Morning light paints the eastern face in golden hues, while sunset transforms the entire formation into a silhouette against the burning sky. The raw, untamed beauty of Slave Cliff embodies the fierce majesty of the North Atlantic's most remote landscapes. Here, nature displays its most dramatic artistry on a canvas of stone, sea, and sky. Hidden in the northern reaches of Suduroy lies a small village that feels like a secret carved into the Faroe Islands. Gjogv is famous for its natural sea-filled gorge, which gave the settlement its name. The gorge stretches for about 200 meters and has served as a natural harbor for centuries. Villagers once used it as their main landing place for fishing boats, and stone steps still lead all the way down to the water. Standing at the top of these stairs, visitors can enjoy the sound of the waves echoing through the ravine. In winter, the surf crashes into the black basalt walls, filling the gorge with white foam and creating a dramatic sight. During the calmer summer months, the gorge becomes peaceful and even more inviting to explore. Puffins are often seen nearby in the summertime, adding life and color to the landscape. The village itself is quiet and charming, with around 100 traditional houses scattered along the valley. Despite its remote setting, Gjogv provides a welcoming atmosphere for visitors. The guest house Drangarnir offers comfortable accommodation and is a popular place to stay. Walking through the village, one can sense the strong connection between people and nature that has shaped life here for centuries. There is also a tarred path leading directly to the gorge, making it easy for anyone to enjoy the views. A small parking lot near the entrance of the settlement allows travelers to arrive and explore on foot. Gjogv captures the essence of Faroe's beauty. A striking gorge, a tranquil ambiance, and a wealth of tradition converge in this picturesque village. Drangarnir formed through powerful hydraulic action when North Atlantic waves crashed relentlessly against the headland, weakening cracks in the ancient basalt rock until sections collapsed. The force of the water gradually separated these rock pillars from the mainland, creating freestanding sea stacks that now rise independently from the ocean floor. The formation process began when waves eroded caves on both sides of the headland, eventually meeting to create natural arches before the roof collapsed. This dramatic geological transformation took thousands of years of constant wave action and weathering to sculpt the iconic formations visible today. Drangarnir is the collective name for two sea stacks situated between the islet Tindhólmur and the island Vágar. The larger formation, Stóri Drangur, features the famous natural arch that makes it one of the most photographed landmarks in the Faroe Islands. Litli Drangur stands as the smaller companion, both rising dramatically from the churning Atlantic waters. The towering basaltic columns showcase the layered volcanic history through their distinctive horizontal striations. These formations stand as the rock star of the Faroe Islands, proud and tall in the North Atlantic Ocean. The sea arch creates a perfect natural window framing the surrounding seascape and distant islands. Continuous wave action continues to slowly reshape these formations, gradually widening the arch and weathering the rock surfaces. The dramatic setting attracts photographers and hikers willing to brave the challenging terrain for spectacular views. Seabirds nest in the rocky crevices, while Atlantic storms crash against the ancient volcanic stone. The stacks represent some of the most pristine examples of coastal erosion in the North Atlantic region. Weather conditions change rapidly around the formations, often shrouding them in mysterious Atlantic mist. Let your imagination wander to the edge of the Nordic world, where Suduroy Island stands as the southernmost of the 18 Faroe Islands. With a surface area of 163.7 square kilometers, Suduroy houses approximately 5,000 inhabitants scattered across picturesque villages. Only reachable from the other Faroe Islands by ferry, Suduroy is less visited and has its own cultural identity, creating an authentic island experience untouched by mass tourism. Suduroy is quite different from the rest of the Faroe Islands due to being far away from all the other islands, where the atmosphere is more relaxed and the nature is more mild yet raw. The island's dramatic coastline features towering sea cliffs that plunge vertically into the churning Atlantic waters. Ancient basaltic layers tell the geological story of volcanic eruptions that shaped this remote landmass millions of years ago. Rolling green mountains dominate the interior landscape, their peaks often shrouded in Atlantic mist that drifts in from the endless ocean horizon. Located at the southernmost edge, the island's microclimate allows wildflowers to bloom more abundantly and makes the harsh Nordic winds feel slightly gentler. Sea stacks rise majestically from the foaming waters, like ancient sentinels guarding this isolated paradise. Suduroy's rugged terrain offers countless hiking opportunities across untamed moorlands where only sheep and seabirds disturb the profound silence. What a magnificent sanctuary this southern gem provides for those seeking authentic Nordic solitude. We collect details from various places. If you notice something that's not quite right or want to share more, please leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Grass-roofed houses are dotted around the vibrant village landscape, blending seamlessly with the emerald hills that slope down to dramatic Atlantic cliffs. Mykines is the westernmost island of the Faroe Islands, representing perhaps the most unspoiled and unique destination in the entire archipelago. With only 13 permanent residents living among 40 houses, this remote island maintains an intimate connection to ancient Nordic traditions. During winter months, the island becomes completely isolated as there's no transport to or from it, creating a true sanctuary of solitude. The hike to Mykines Lighthouse unfolds through landscapes adorned with lush greenery and vibrant wildflowers. Only 20,000 visitors are permitted each year, ensuring this fragile ecosystem remains protected. Could there be any place more perfectly designed by nature to remind us what true wilderness feels like? Beneath the embrace of towering mountain ridges, the return of the fishing boats to the harbor is an awe-inspiring sight. Klaksvik is the second largest city of the Faroe Islands archipelago, located on Bordoy Island and serving as the main fishing port. Nestled at the foot of two lofty mountain ridges, the city occupies one of nature's most dramatic amphitheaters. The Vikings were the first to settle in Klaksvik, and it is now the fishing capital of the Faroe Islands. The small town was originally settled by Vikings as a handful of farms, which later merged and grew into 4 villages before combining in the 20th century to form a modern Faroes town. The sub-sea tunnel connects Bordoy Island to Eysturoy Island, making it super easy to reach this remarkable destination. With the opening of the Leirvik sub-sea tunnel, Klaksvik gained a physical link with the mainland of the Faroe Islands and can now be considered one of its key ports. This transformation established Klaksvik as a cultural and commercial center for the Northern Isles and the Faroe Islands as a whole. The picturesque harbor showcases colorful fishing vessels against the backdrop of emerald mountainsides that rise dramatically from the sheltered bay. Visitors can explore the picturesque harbor, enjoy fresh seafood, and immerse themselves in the local culture. The town serves as an important harbor with fishing industry and represents the biggest whitefish town in the Faroe Islands. A testament to a thriving future built on ancient foundations, Klaksvik is where modern Nordic life respectfully meets its Viking heritage. Plunging dramatically down a dark basalt cliff, Fossa Waterfall reigns as the tallest waterfall in the Faroe Islands. With a height of 140 meters, the water drops in 2 magnificent tiers before tumbling into the Sundini Strait. Located on the northern side of Strangest Island, the waterfall is just a short distance from the village of Haldarsvik. Its white torrents crashing against black volcanic rock create a striking natural contrast that never fails to impress. Visitors can walk close enough to feel the cool spray on their faces, a reminder of the waterfall's constant power. On rainy days, Fossa becomes even more spectacular, with water rushing in volumes that roar through the valley. Standing next to the waterfall, you gain a true sense of scale when people appear as tiny figures against its towering flow. The stream feeding Fossa comes from Mount Vikartendur and nearby peaks, ensuring a steady supply of pure, clear water. Some visitors even sip from the icy stream at the base, refreshing themselves with one of the cleanest drinks imaginable. From across the strait on Eysturoy Island, the waterfall is visible in the distance, cascading like a silver ribbon down the cliffs. The site is only a 45-minute drive from the capital Torshavn, making it one of the most accessible natural wonders in the Faroes. Tourism here is still developing, so facilities remain simple, with only a few small laybys for parking. During the busy summer months, patience may be needed to find a spot, but the reward is unforgettable. To witness Fossa is to experience raw Faroes nature at its most majestic, where water, rock, and sea meet in a timeless display of beauty. As the sun crests the horizon, it spotlights the eternal theater where Bosdalafossur Waterfall pours its thunderous power into the waiting arms of the North Atlantic. Here, the largest lake in the Faroe Islands empties directly into the Atlantic Ocean via the Bosdalafossur Waterfall, creating a powerful cascade as it meets the sea. The overcast sky reflects perfectly in the barely moving water surface, where the only sounds are bird calls, echoing across the vast stillness. From the same viewpoint, visitors can see the impressive sea stack Gasadalur Drangarnir rising majestically from the churning waters. Leitisvatn feeds this dramatic waterfall, where its waters pour spectacularly into the sea. The area is also known for its dramatic weather, especially in winter, when the forces of nature clash in spectacular displays. Hosvik is a charming village nestled on the east coast of Strangest, with a population of approximately 324 inhabitants, positioned beautifully on a bay. The village's name, called Torshavn in Danish, was apparently a pagan place of sacrifice that began to grow when sea fishing started and provided new opportunities for income. The village's concrete church dates from 1929 and was designed by architect Einar Hansen, serving as a spiritual centerpiece for this coastal community. The construction of the Strangest Bridge has altered transportation in the area, transforming Hosvik from a transit hub into a peaceful seaside destination. A charming village located on the northeast coast of Strangest, Haldarsvik, is home to approximately 119 people. In the center of the village, there is a small waterfall that adds to its picturesque Nordic charm. The village's most distinctive feature is its stone church from 1856, which is the only octagonal church on the Faroe Islands. Surrounded by mountains and with sweeping views of the sea, it offers a glimpse into traditional Faroese life. With an area of up to 3.4 square kilometers, Leitisvatn is the largest lake in the Faroe Islands, located between the Norwegian Sea and the North Atlantic Ocean. It is also known as Sorvagsvatn. The reason this lake has two different names is because the locals once had a fierce argument over what to name it. The people of Sorvagsvatn wanted to name the lake after their village, but the people of Mylingur wanted to name the lake Leitisvatn. Since then, this lake has had two names. However, many locals simply call Lake Leitisvatn Vatni, which means lake. What makes this lake truly extraordinary is the famous optical illusion it creates. The lake sits approximately 40 meters above sea level, creating this breathtaking visual phenomenon that has captivated photographers worldwide. At its southern tip, the lake empties into the ocean through the spectacular Bosdalafossur Waterfall, which cascades 30 meters down the cliff face. The contrast between the calm, mirror-like surface of the lake and the thunderous crash of the waterfall creates one of nature's most dramatic transitions. Surrounded by emerald mountains and often shrouded in Atlantic mist, the lake offers some of the most pristine hiking opportunities in the Nordic region. The hiking trail to reach the famous viewpoint takes approximately 45 minutes from the village, crossing rugged terrain that showcases the raw beauty of Faroese landscapes. During different seasons, the lake transforms dramatically, from frozen winter stillness to vibrant summer reflections of the surrounding peaks. The area serves as an important habitat for various seabirds and Arctic wildlife that thrive in this unspoiled environment. In the past, the British Army used Lake Leitisvatn as a base for seaplanes during World War II and built an airport right next to the lake. Today, it is still sometimes used for civilian purposes. Klakkur is a panoramic mountain ridge located on Bordoy Island in the Faroe Islands, offering some of the most breathtaking views in the archipelago. Just above the town of Klaksvik, the hike to Klakkur is short and accessible, making it a favorite among both locals and visitors. The trail begins along a gravel road, passing through wooden gates and gentle inclines before reaching the summit. From the top, you can admire sweeping views of Kalsoy Island, Kunoy Island, and even watch ferries crossing the sea. The ridge is especially popular among photographers who come to capture the dramatic scenery. At sunset, the golden light transforms the mountains into glowing silhouettes, creating a magical atmosphere. Known locally as the Love Path, the route is often a romantic walk for couples seeking a quiet escape. Despite its dramatic landscape, the hike requires little effort compared to the stunning rewards at the peak. The peaceful silence and fresh sea air make it a deeply refreshing experience. Klakkur remains one of the most cherished and scenic destinations in the Northern Islands. Once a remote fishing village accessible only by treacherous mountain paths, Vidareidi now stands proudly as the northernmost settlement in the entire Faroe Islands archipelago. This picturesque village, home to approximately 350 residents, is situated on an isthmus that provides a dramatic setting between two imposing mountains. Located on Vidareidi Island, this is the main settlement on the island, where visiting Vidareidi is always rewarding. The village is nestled on a narrow strip of land with the Atlantic Ocean on either side of the village, beautiful coastline, and magnificent mountain peaks. To the north stands the towering Mylingur mountain, reaching 844 meters in height and creating a natural fortress around the settlement. The village lies in a deep valley with the nearby islands visible to the east and west, offering panoramic views. From this village, adventurous hikers can reach Cape Eneberg, the northernmost point of the Faroe Islands, as one of the highest promontories in the world. It is home to a rich bird life, including puffins, guillemots, razorbills, and kittiwakes. The journey to reach Vidareidi involves driving through several tunnels, including a subsea tunnel that connects this remote corner to the rest of the archipelago. Traditional grass roof houses dot the landscape, their colorful facades creating a striking contrast against the emerald mountainsides. The marked hiking trails from the village offer access to some of the most spectacular viewpoints in the Nordic region. The hike to Cape Eneberg is challenging, but rewards brave adventurers with views of the world's highest sea-facing cliff. Kirkjubour is generally considered the country's most historically important site, with structures that go back to medieval times. Visitors can explore the ruins of 14th century Magnus Cathedral, along with the beautiful 13th century church Olavs Kirkja. St. Magnus Cathedral is the only place in the country where the ancient remains are so magnificent and monumental that one can walk directly into a preserved medieval environment. Kunoy is one of the northern islands of the Faroe Islands, known for its dramatic mountains and untouched landscapes. The island is home to the highest peaks in the archipelago, rising steeply from the sea and often wrapped in mist. A small village with the same name offers a glimpse into traditional Faroese life. Hiking trails here lead through lush valleys and provide stunning views over the surrounding islands. In a world that often feels rushed and crowded, Saksun offers the complete opposite. High on the cliffs of Strangest Island, overlooking a serene lagoon, lies a remote village that time itself seems to have forgotten. Surrounded by towering mountains and countless waterfalls, it feels like a sanctuary carved by nature itself. The lagoon, once a bustling natural harbor, was transformed after a fierce storm filled its entrance with sand, creating today's breathtaking landscape. Twice a day, the tides of the North Atlantic breathe life into the lagoon, filling it with seawater that glistens under changing skies. With only about 11 residents, Saksun is a place where silence and cascading water dominate. Turf-roofed houses blend almost invisibly into the grassy slopes, carrying centuries of tradition on their shoulders. When the tide is low, the shore opens for a magical walk from the lagoon to the sandy beachfront. For hikers, Saksun offers a path to the neighboring village of Tjornuvik, guided by cairns that trace an ancient mountain trail. The natural amphitheater of steep mountains encircling the lagoon creates a view that feels both intimate and majestic. The road into Saksun winds, where streams rush through ravines, teasing the beauty that awaits at the end. Though remote, yet feels a world away from modern life. To step into Saksun is to step into a realm of raw, unshaped beauty, where time slows and nature reigns supreme. Vidareidi Kirkja is a picturesque church in the northernmost village of the Faroe Islands. Built in 1892, it stands beside the sea with a backdrop of steep mountains and endless ocean views. The church's white walls and modest design embody traditional Faroese architecture. Inside, visitors can see wooden details and a peaceful interior that reflect the island's way of life. Between steep mountains and a winding fjord lies a village shaped by both land and sea. This village is known for its quiet charm, where colorful houses cluster along narrow roads that follow the curves of the water. The natural setting creates a sense of harmony, with green slopes rising dramatically on both sides. A small river runs through the settlement, adding a gentle sound to the calm atmosphere. Life here moves at a slower pace, shaped by fishing traditions and close ties to nature. In the heart of the community stands a simple church, reflecting the history and faith of its people. The village also features a modest football field, where locals gather to play against a backdrop of towering peaks. This open green pitch contrasts beautifully with the rugged cliffs and ocean views. On clear days, the light shimmers across the water, turning the fjord into a mirror of the sky. Mist often drifts down from the mountains, wrapping the houses in a veil of mystery. Every season brings new colors to the landscape, from the fresh greens of spring to the deep blues of winter. Walking along the shoreline offers endless views of waves meeting rock and grass. From every angle, the village feels like part of a timeless painting shaped by nature's hand. Eidi is a peaceful village located on the northern edge of Eysturoy Island in the Faroe Islands. Surrounded by dramatic mountains and open sea, it offers a striking natural landscape. A football field set against cliffs and ocean views has become one of its most iconic sights. Colorful houses and quiet streets reflect the simple charm of Faroe's village life. Consider challenging yourself with the ultimate cliff edge adventure by visiting Beinisvord. Beinisvord is a 469 to 470 meters high sea cliff in Suduroy, Faroe Islands, standing as the highest sea cliff on the island. Located between the villages of Lopra and Sumba, this impressive promontory features vertical cliffs facing the sea and a green slope down towards the village. Here, the landscape falls to a sheer drop with the Atlantic Ocean below, creating a heart-stopping edge-of-the-world experience. Standing at this impressive height, this towering marvel can be seen from nearly anywhere on the island. With its 470 meters vertical elevation from sea level, it takes only 15 minutes to drive from the settlement further south before you reach the top of the mountain, where views are spectacular. The Beinisvord and its beauty has been praised by the local poet Paul F. Johnson, who recognized the dramatic power of this natural monument. The stark contrast between emerald grassland and abrupt cliff face embodies the raw, untamed essence of the Faroe Islands. Arnafjordur lies at the bottom of a fjord of the same name on Bordoy Island, belonging to Klaksvik Kommuna municipality. This small village houses approximately 59 inhabitants, making it one of the most intimate settlements in the Faroe Islands. Located at the bottom of a deep inlet named Arnafjordur, meaning Corner Fjords Bay, the village sits on the east side of Bordoy. The village covers 16 merkur of land, with a sheep herd consisting of 394 animals, reflecting its traditional pastoral heritage. Who can witness the Faroes' raw beauty and ancient spirit and remain unchanged? From the grass-roofed villages to the Atlantic's thunderous waterfalls, the Faroes' 18 emerald islands guard secrets few places on Earth can match. The memories of standing on dramatic cliff edges, witnessing optical illusions at pristine lakes, and experiencing the warmth of Faroese hospitality will linger long after departure. Here, where sheep outnumber humans and legends feel tangibly alive, visitors discover that true wilderness still exists in our modern world. The Faroe Islands prove that nature's greatest masterpieces are often hidden, waiting for those brave enough to seek them. In the Faroes, every village, peak, and sea stack whispers a story of resilience and harmony. A journey here is more than a getaway. It's a profound encounter with one of Earth's last unspoiled paradises.